How did you get to New York City?
Okay. I went to college in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then my first job was in DC.
Okay.
And about like 6 months into living there, I was like, I want to go to New York. Like it's a fun city. Like it's nice, but I was like, no. So my parents were like, you have to stay in your job for a year. So literally like a year to the day, I quit that job and then moved to New York and had like a part-time job-ish. Yeah, and so that was like 10 years ago.
What did you hate about DC?
I don't even know if I hate, a lot of my family lives there. I didn't hate DC. I just, because I was not even like into comedy then. All of my friends from college moved to New York. So I just had this like FOMO.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think I like always wanted to live in New York, but I was visiting my sister in DC like right after graduation and she had a friend and they're like, oh, we're hiring. And I was like, I just need a job. So I just took it. But I think like I wanted to be in New York from the beginning.
When did comedy come on the scene for you?
When I was in DC, I took a sketch writing class, which I really enjoyed, but I was kind of like, oh, it's fun, but it wasn't like, this is for me. And then when I moved to New York, working a corporate job, I was like, this is not my skill set. They would tell you that too. And then I did an improv class at the Pit, which I like loved. I was not good at improv. I thought everything was so funny. Like as we were doing it, I was laughing as we were doing it, which is like not a good skill to have for improv. But I like loved like the people in the class and that community. So I like did that for like a year. And then I kind of like stopped doing that and like didn't think like, I never thought about doing stand up. I thought it was like kind of cringy and like embarrassing, which it is. Spoiler alert. But before I turned 30, I was like, I want to try stand up. Like I just want to do it once to say I did it. And I thought I would like go to an open mic. And then I was like, I'm not going to go to an open mic. So I have to sign up for a class. So I like actually do it. So I signed up for a class and I was walking to the class and I remember thinking like, I hope I get hit by a car so I don't have to go to this class. And so then I took a class, the stand-up class, and I loved it. And so, yeah, that was like 3.5 years ago.
What was that class and what did it show or teach you?
So it was like intro to stand-up and so it's like I think it was like 2 months long. And then at the end is a graduation show where you like perform. So the entire time you're like working on getting a 5-minute set. And I just like, I loved it. It taught me that like, cause I've always told like funny stories, like not to brag. But I like would like tell stories and it like was really insightful because stand up, like I noticed this at open mics a lot, like people who are like trying it for the first time. It's like not to like stereotype, but it's usually like a guy who like thinks he's really funny and his friends tell him he's funny and he's telling like a funny story. But like telling a story on stage for stand up like doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So the class was really good because it's like, no, you need punchlines and it needs to be like, we don't need like a rambling story. So it like really helped me figure out like what 5 minutes was. They weren't good 5 minutes, like let me tell you. Like I had the graduation show at the end and I loved the class. I was like, this is what I was meant to do. Like, I love this. And before the graduation show, a group of us were like, let's go to an open mic to like test our 5 minutes. And I was feeling like pretty good about this 5 minutes. And I'd never been to an open mic before. Open mics are normally just comics. I felt like there would be an audience.
Yeah.
Sold out show. And I did the 5 minutes that I'd been working like 2 months on and like it was silent. Like I felt like a tumbleweed went through the room. And I called my mom after and I was like, listen, stand-up's not for me. Like I just tried it. It's not, I'll do the graduation show, but like it's not for me. I didn't know what an open mic was. So I thought it was like a failure. But then I did the graduation show and it went really well. So then I was like, I love this.
I think you said at some point you realized that stand-up was for you.
Yes.
What was that moment and why did you come to that realization?
I was probably the first show I did.
Yeah.
Because I was like sickly nervous before. Like I was like, I like sweating. Like being around me I was like, why am I doing this? Like, and everyone's like, you signed up to do this. Like, this is a choice. And I'm like, I can't believe you're making me get on stage right now. Like, I was so nervous about it. But then when I got on stage, like, it went away. Like, I was like so calm and it just like felt so good. It was like a very warm room, I will say. Like, I think I had 40 friends and family there.
Wow.
Which is like, because it was like you're doing it for the first time. Like your old coworkers want to come, like your cousins, like my parents were there. So I got off that stage and I was like, I'm God's gift to comedy, which I realized at my next show I was not. But it was like, I think it's better it happened that way because it gave me this kind of delusion of like I'm amazing. Like I can't believe people work at 10 years and then get discovered. But it was like that feeling has never gone away. So even when there's been like bad nights or like not successful, it's like I always go back to that.
Did you at that time think this is going to be a fun hobby, or were you thinking like I might want to really go for this as a career?
I think I went into it like a hobby, like an outlet, because I've worked like corporate jobs mostly. And it's just not given me, like, I'm like, I need something else on the side. So I think I went into it as a hobby. And then I just kept doing it and was like, oh, like, maybe I could actually, like, do something from this or it would lead to something. I mean, I'm still not, like, is this going to be, like, my goal is to have it, like, make a living out of it. But I'm chasing that more now than a hobby, yes, for sure.
At that time when you just were getting going, what were you doing for work?
I was working, okay, wait, I'm like, how many jobs ago was this? I was working for a magazine, like writing. I got like not to brag, I got a master's in journalism. I'm really using it. And so I was writing like branded content for a magazine. And it was like fully remote. So it was just like from my apartment writing like boring stuff every day. Before that I did like advertising, like ad sales type of thing. And like I have like a corporate job now. And it's not for me. And I hope they listen to this that they know that.
What is it about it that's not for you?
Like it does not like fill me up in any sort of way. And I don't want to say like I'm not motivated. But I've never like had a day job in an office where I've been like I look at people in the office who are like so hungry and they're like, I can't wait to like do this and get to the next level. And I'm like, I don't have that. I did, my first job was recruiting and it was kind of like salesy. Like you had to like, it was like hitting numbers and like, oh, I have this guy and he's mine. And like people were so competitive about it. And I was like, you can take my, like, I did not care. Yeah. Which I feel like is not a good sign for a job. But I think it's just, it doesn't like fill me up or, I don't know.
Yeah. Is it worse than neutral? Do you feel like you're like dying inside or something is being taken from you?
Kind of. Like, I feel like I can't live my life in like a 9-to-5 office setting Monday through Friday. Like if you told me like I'm going to do that for the next 50 years, like it would be really depressing to me. So just don't tell me if you know.
So after you get done with the class and you have this great experience, what do you do next? What's the next move to try to continue to flex those muscles?
Yeah, I just started doing, I took a few more classes. I started going to open mics more frequently. And then, so in stand-up, when you're starting out early on, there's like bringer shows. So it's basically like you can get stage time if you bring a certain amount of people. Yeah. So that's mostly how you get stage time early on. In the beginning, it's easy. Your friends are excited. They want to come see you. It runs out quickly. The 2-drink minimum, they're like, again? Like, do you want to see some bad comedy? But it's people hate on it. And I now am like not dying to do bringers, but it's a good way to get stage time in the beginning. It's kind of like the only way. And so yeah, you just have like friends come and then they put you up. So
in this city, are there specific places you would recommend to new comics that are great for starting out that you had really good experiences at?
Yes. Okay. So Gotham, I'm going to preface this. They have a 10-person bringer, which is an insane amount of people to ask to come to a show.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit of like, but I will say this, in the beginning, I did a lot of Gotham shows because there was a lot, like could find 10 people.
Yeah.
And it's like a legit room.
Yeah, I love that room.
It's great. So I'd say like do that while people are still excited to see you. Take advantage of that. And then like Laughing Buddha does like these Buddha battles, which it's a competition, and if you win, you get spots from it. So like I would recommend like Bringers, like kind of where you can get something out of it, or like there's a ton of like festivals in New York. Like Laughing Buddha does one, Comedy Mob, where you enter and then it's actually not Bringers, but then you perform and then you can advance to the next level. So anything like that where like Bringers are great, but it's like there's a chance of you getting something out of it.
Yeah. When you bring the Bringers to Gotham, for example, you get 10 people to show up. That they give you time on a weekday. When and where?
So there's like a Monday night show, new talent show. So it's Mondays. I think it's always Mondays at 7. So and they'll have like a couple like pro comics or like a headliner. So it's that one that is like the Bringer show, and Jim Gaffigan goes to it a lot. Like
I love him.
And Seinfeld was there one time.
Wow.
They both were there one time when I was there.
Wow.
It's really cool, especially to like see Jim Gaffigan walk in and like look at his notes and then go up on stage. But then it's funny because then by like the 10th show you're on with him, you're like, oh no, the show's going to be so long. Gaffigan's here. I'm like, oh my God, getting a little jaded. But it's a cool experience.
Did you decide that you were going to increase the reps, that this was something that you had a certain number of times on stage you wanted to be performing every single week? How did you think about that?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was more relaxed about it. And like I spoke about open mics. And in the beginning, I like hated going to open mics. I would be more anxious for those than shows. And so I was like not going to nearly as many as I should have. And then probably like a year and a half ago, I was like, I have to, because it's a way to get on stage without like having to bring people. Yeah. So then I started forcing myself to go to open mics, which is like, some can be really bad, but you get over it. So yeah. So then I was like, okay, at least go to like 2 or 3 open mics a week. And then from there, because then, shows like come in waves. You'll have like a ton one month and then not as many the next. But at least with open mics, you're like, okay, I'm guaranteed to be like doing these reps a certain amount of times a week.
Did you find it was obvious to you that the more you did it, the better you got? Could you tell you were improving?
Yeah. It's interesting because sometimes you do the same set. And like you do a set one night and it's like so good. Then you do the same set the next night and it's like not nearly as good. So like if you're in your head a little bit, like it was hard for me to be like, am I getting better? But like, because like, again, like I'm chasing this like warm room of like my family and friends. And I'm like, I'll never top that. Now I look back on that set and it's hard for me to watch it. And meanwhile, my mom's like, you've never done better than that. I'm like, okay, great. But I don't know, I'm pretty self-critical. So like I'm not like watching myself like, wow, I've gotten really good. But I judge it more from like being more comfortable on stage and like, yeah, I've gotten a lot better. But like, I don't know if there was like a moment where I was like, oh, wait, now I'm like actually good at this. I
don't know if I know you said you don't like to watch it, but when you think back on that first appearance in that warm room with a great reception, what was bad about it? What do you look back and be like, Jesus, that was...
No, and like I posted the entire set on Instagram like that night. Like, watch this, guys. It's still up there. It wasn't bad, but I was talking so fast. Yeah. Some like lines in it like make me cringe now, and it wasn't bad, but it's like I can look at that and be like, wow, it looks like it was your first time doing stand-up. Just like talking really fast, maybe not like as punchy as I would like in a set, but I mean, in the moment I was like, if Gaffigan's here, like learn from this.
I guess at that point that's the best you had ever done.
Yes, 100%. No, it was like, it was, And it felt like after, like, oh, I think I could do this. Like, I was being a little delusional, but I was like, oh, like, I don't know if I thought that it would be like silence in the audience. I mean, judging from my open mic, like that's the tumbleweed coming across. But I really came off stage, was like, oh, I think I can definitely do this.
I saw you at the Flophouse.
Oh, yeah.
How did that opportunity come about for you?
The show?
Yeah.
Okay, so Emily and I, who's like my co-producer on the show and friend, we started hosting an open mic there. They do an open mic, I think, every night, and you could like guest host, like throw your name in. And we'd never hosted a mic before. And then we really liked it, and I think they liked us, not to presume. So then we started a weekly open mic there. And then we were like, we should really do a show. Like that's a big thing, especially for like new comics, is like getting on like bar shows.
Yeah.
Like aside from the clubs, like there's a million shows a night. And some people say, like, if you produce a show, you have people on, they'll have you on their show. Like, it's a way to, like, create stage time for yourself. So we asked them, like, can we do a show? And they were like, yeah, of course. And I was, like, hesitant. It's the thing about producing a show is it's, like, how are you going to get an audience? It's, like, the most stressful part. Like, you'll get comics. Like, everyone wants stage time. So we were like, I was like, let's just set a date and then we'll just do it. So yeah, we're having our second one June 24th.
When you think about what your career might look like in a year, how are you hoping to evolve as a comedian, and what else do you want to be doing? What's the goal?
Yeah, in comedy, like just getting like more comfortable, stronger, like having I've done 30 minutes, but like not.
Wow, really?
Not good 30 minutes.
Okay. That's a lot.
Stretched it out. I would say like I've done like 20 minutes on big shows that I felt good about. So I would love to have like a longer set. I've gotten more into like some writing projects. Like I wrote a pilot. I mean, I'm finishing it now. And so I've really enjoyed writing, aside from just like writing jokes, like writing like comedic essays, and then working on this pilot. So I'd like to see both of those, like still be working on those things and improving in them.
I don't know how much you've thought about this, but what would need to happen for you to quit this corporate job to go for a full time?
I mean, I don't, like sometimes I have moments where I'm like, my boss won't listen to this. Where I'm like, should I just quit? And like, there's like this like idea of like the torture, or like, the struggling artist, where it's like, oh, you're like waiting tables, like had no money, and just like you meet comics at open mics and they go to like 5 open mics a day.
Yeah.
There's something about that is like, I think it would take some of the joy out of it for me. And I was laid off. I was laid off from a job like a year and a half ago. So I was like not working for like 4 months. I was like, this is going to be the most productive time in my comedy career. And it really wasn't. Like, I was like stressed about that. I wasn't like doing as much as I thought. I think having the 9 to 5, like excites me about like then when I get off work doing all this stuff. So I think it would really take not like something big, but like something financially motivating happening that I'm like, okay, I could like support myself a little bit through this. Yeah. I don't see like a big, like I quit and then I'm going to try.
Yeah. Do you have a process or habits that you are pretty religious about that helps with your writing, helps with writing jokes for stand-up, and, creating new material for yourself? How do you do that?
It's not like organized. I wish one of my comic friends, Ellen, was telling me that she every morning writes out her set, like rewrites it out, because it like helps your brain to think of new tags and come up with, which I say I'm going to do, like check back in. But I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I am like my notes app, like anytime I think of something that I think is funny, I write like a note. Like if you looked at my notes app, you would be like, you need to seek help. Like it's so I usually just like as something like crosses my mind, like middle of the night, I'm like thinking of something, I write it down, and then I usually the next day like will write out on Google Docs. I try to write out something, and it's like, so like doesn't make any sense, and then test it at an open mic. So it's like it's not really like a process, but like it's very not organized. But I'm just like always constant. Like I don't set a timer and like sit down at a certain time and be like, okay, I'm going to try to write it. Like I don't think I would do well with that, like the pressure. Instead, I'm like, I think of something, write it down, and then like revisit it later.
Yeah. If somebody's listening to this that doesn't know New York or just moved here, what are the great comedy venues in your mind that you've performed at that you know about in the city?
Yes. Okay, like Gotham. I mean, if you're gonna go watch comedy, go to the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
I'd say that's like the best venue in the city.
In terms of quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the best of the best. Okay, Gotham, The Stand, I really like. And then New York Comedy Club, and they have like 3 different locations. Like the Upper West Side, like East Village, and then like a Gramercy area one. Yeah. And I'm like not naming the ones in my head that I'm thinking of that I don't want to say out loud. I'm like, yeah, I think those are like the major ones. West Side Comedy Club. It's good.
Yeah. I've learned in doing a few of these interviews with stand-ups that it feels like it becomes a relatively small world, that a lot of people know each other.
Yep.
Who are the people you've seen that have just blown you away that are really talented or hilarious, especially those that are not particularly well known?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
There's a ton of talent here.
There's too much, some might say. Okay, let me think about this for a minute. Okay, on our show, I'm not saying this because you were there, but Taylor Yarish.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is he's funny.
I agree.
I know you had Hamza on.
Yeah.
I love him.
I had Taylor on too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I just, like, there's just some jokes that then, like, lately, I try not to be, like, sorry, I'm, like, diverging, but I try not to be someone, like, it's kind of annoying when people, like, try to tell you a joke about, like, this comic said this joke.
Yeah.
But I do that with these people. Like, I'm like, no, I need to share. Like, and, okay, let me think. I'm trying to think of a woman. No, like, I have it's so hard.
I'll give you one I'm who actually just committed to come on the show that I'm talking to in I think 2 weeks. Do you know Liz Glazer?
Oh my God. I was going to say Liz, but like I feel like Emily said Liz.
Emily is the one who pointed her out to me in the first place, and we watched some of her stuff.
Liz Glazer she's going to be huge. Also, she's the nicest, kindest human being I have ever like come across in comedy. She is so like she genuinely wants to help you. And like a lot of people are like, yeah, like let me know if you need anything. She like follows up and she's just like such a good person and she's so funny. And she had a huge week this week.
She was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to she had like a viewing party she was on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And so there was a party at New York Comedy Club we went to, and it was like I felt like a proud mom. Like I had chills, and I'm like, this is not about me. But she's incredible. She's like one of my favorites.
I know we've covered this a little bit, but I always like to ask the guests on the show about how they think about the word success, and I'd love to put that to you to hear what you think about. Your career, your journey in comedy. What does it mean to be successful to you in this world, in the world of stand-up?
Yeah, so I used to be like, I want to be on Netflix. I want to be on this. And like, if I'm going to be honest, I think like to make a living off of it, to like live comfortably just doing like stand-up and writing. But I will say, recently, I'm like, until I stop enjoying it, like I almost feel like a success from just like, there's bad nights. There's nights like last night was a good night, but like but like I had to go to Staten Island, and like sometimes I'm like on this bus to Staten Island on a Friday night, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like honestly, but I never feel like I'm like sacrificing anything by like doing comedy. And I always enjoy it. So I feel like until that changes and I feel like it feels like I can't believe I have to do this. I'm really not enjoying it. There's negatives and like lows in it, but until like those outweigh the highs, Like, I don't see myself. I didn't really answer your question, but like I used to be like, okay, I want this, and like I do want to make a living just doing it. But I'm also like, it brings me a lot of joy. Just.
So how do you answer that question when you ask yourself that on Friday night on your way to Staten Island of why you're doing this?
I mean, I'm like, well, no, I have those moments like a lot. Like you have to like say, like you kind of sacrifice a lot. Like I've said like no to people's like weddings, like because I'm like I have like it sounds stupid, but like I have like a really good opportunity that I need to do. My sister, no, I'm kidding. They were like not that close of friends, but you do feel like you sacrifice a lot. But like I just I love it. Like even like last night in Staten Island doing the show, it was like at like a Mexican restaurant. There was like 15 people, but it was great. So. It's like a feeling that comes, but then when you actually like do it, it like goes away. And I always remind myself that on nights where I've been like, this is the last thing I want to do, are sometimes like the best nights that you have. So I always say that.
What have you noticed makes for a great stand-up comedian? And maybe a better way to ask that is like, how do you personally want to evolve in your own craft? What kind of skills and talents make someone really good at this?
I mean, I think you have to have like a good work ethic, because something I'm realizing, after I had my like one first show and I was like, this is it, is like, I know this is probably true of a lot of fields, but like with comedy, like you really have to like put in the work.
Yeah.
Like some people have like, oh, I've only been doing it this many years and they blew up. But like for the most part, it's like you have to put in like years of work for it to pay off. So I think you just like have to do the work. There's no shortcut. There's no way to get like really good really fast. Like you just have to be willing to like go to open mics and like get stage time and like bomb and fail and learn from it. So I think having like a work ethic, and then the mental toughness, which I have come a long way with that. Still working on it, but it really is like, it's really hard mentally.
Yeah.
Because even like, yes, obviously like getting on stage and saying jokes and no one responding, it's like a terrible feeling. But also like when people are like, oh, that was really good. And you're like, no, I know it went well, but you're kind of in your head like, I feel like they didn't like laugh as hard as that one. Or like you find the one person in the audience who is staring at you straight face the entire set. And you're like, you're like, that guy hates me. And like a lot of times that's your takeaway from a good, So I think you have, and it's something I'm still working on, but I think you have to be like mentally tough to do it.
How has your decision to do this kind of work more seriously, have you had a lot of support from your family? Is this not what they wanted you to be doing with your time? How is that story?
I wish I had like the story for you that like they cut me off. But no, they've been really supportive. I think I started it when I was 30, which is kind of on the later side. So I feel like everyone in my family was like I was like, I need to find, like, it felt like I found something like, no, this is like what you were like meant to be doing. So I think they all were like, they are so supportive, honestly. Even my mom, who's, more on like the conservative side, like shut up was a curse word growing up in our house. Yeah. And I'm pretty clean, but like I have some innuendos, and she's really come a long way. Like she is, before one Gotham show she was coming to, I was like, I just want to give you a heads up. Like I have one innuendo, like you probably won't get it. It'll go over your head, but like, I just want to like give you, notice. And that whatever, I went up and did it. And then I was in the bathroom after the set and she came in and she was like, oh, I got it. But no, they're really supportive, honestly. I mean, if I said like I'm quitting my job and like gonna live on the streets and try to do this, they might change their tune, but they've been like nothing but supportive.
Do you still get as anxious as you did before you step on stage?
No, I don't get that anxious. Definitely. Like that has gone down a lot. But you still do, like, even if it's like you, like sometimes you know your set so well, you see the audience and they're good. So you're like, I don't want to like jinx it, but like I'm going to kill. But like, even when you're not nervous about those factors, it's like right before my mouth goes dry. It's like you're sweating. And I like in my head, like I have this like self-sabotage where I'm like, you don't know your set. And it's like, no, you do. Like we rehearsed it for like, and I'm like, no, you do not know your set. So there's like, I'd say like 10 minutes before I go on stage, it's like a minor panic attack. But it's nothing like what I was like hoping to get hit by a car. Like it's not like that, thankfully. That's gone away.
Were you really into comedy growing up? Like what, I don't know if there were comedians or movies that really resonated with you. I
didn't really watch like stand up growing up, honestly. Like I watched like SNL like a little bit when I was like older. My family's really funny. Like my dad's really funny. We've always like been like a funny household, and I always loved funny movies. My friends joke that like my favorite movie of all time is White Chicks, which has not aged well if you've watched it recently. It should be canceled, and I can acknowledge that. But yeah,
Tropic
like
Thunder.
Yeah. No, I know. I like watched it recently on a plane, and I'm like, this is bad. Like this is actually really bad. But yeah, like we always loved funny movies and like quoting things to each other. But I didn't watch a lot of stand up. Like at all, I don't think.
Last question I would love to ask you is about advice you would give to someone just starting out in the world of comedy in New York. You've gone over some of the qualities that you think are necessary, having thick skin, working hard. If you had a friend who was just beginning here, or advice you would give to your younger self about how to try to make this something you're proud of and really giving yourself opportunities to do something with this, what would you say?
Say maybe try pickleball. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I would say one thing that I think has been like really helpful is it's a solo sport. Like you're doing it by yourself. So like it doesn't have to be a community, but like finding like at least in the beginning like one friend and going to open mics together, because it like you go to a show and you don't do well and you're by yourself and you're like in your head the rest of the night. Like having someone who understands and just to like complain and like vent to, and then also to like force yourself in the beginning, like if you're like me, like you didn't want to go to open mics, you're like, no. And it's like holding each other accountable. So, I mean, there's such a good community of comics. Like I've met such amazing people. But you don't need to have like 10 friends. It's like find one person you get along with and like really foster that relationship. I would say would be really helpful. And also just don't take anything too seriously. Like this sounds bad saying it, but like sometimes I think like, none of this matters, which is really great. But no, like in a sense of like, no, one show, I mean, maybe one show, like everyone's like, oh, who might be in the audience? But like one show's not going to make or break your career in either direction. So like treat every show like it's so important. But like in terms of like having that stress on you, like I need, especially in like festivals and things where you're moving on to the next round. And like if you get eliminated, like comedy is so subjective that like you'll find your audience and people who like your comedy. So like if somebody does better than you, or if there's a room that's like not laughing, like be a little delusional sometime, be like they're just not, I mean, but it's true, like they're just not your audience. Like if you're funny, which like a lot of people are, and if you work hard at it, like you'll find an audience. So but it's helpful to perform for people who don't find you funny. Like don't just seek out like positive affirmations, but like just like keep that in the back of your mind on like the nights where you're like, okay, that did not go well and I should quit. Does it still feel fun for you doing this work? It really does. Yeah. Honestly, it does. Even when I'm on a bus to Staten Island, it does still feel fun. And I feel like that's like the most important part. Yeah. Nancy, thank you. Thanks for having me. You got it.